San Francisco 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy somehow was a winner this weekend, and he didn't even play. The San Francisco 49ers are 6-11. They didn't make the playoffs. They're at home. They're in Cabo. I actually seen some videos from some of the players. They're already in Cancun, wherever they're at, enjoying their off season. So good for them. So how does Brock Purdy become a winner on a weekend where the 49ers were eliminated from the playoffs? Well, if you guys watch playoff football, you would understand already what I'm talking about. And it is based on the quarterback play of some of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league. You look at Jordan Love, you look at Justin Herbert, both of them ranked towards the top of AAV in regards to contract worth and value. And when Brock Purdy is constantly discredited, those are two quarterbacks that typically are at the forefront of the conversation of why Brock isn't worth what people believe he's worth, and et cetera, et cetera. And so when you watch, Herbert and Love go out, throw a ton of interceptions, contribute to their team losing and being bounced in the first round, it then naturally has you comparing Brock Purdy's playoff performances and how well he's played in wild card rounds, divisional rounds, NFC championship games, even in the Super Bowl as well. And it just goes to show the never-ending goalpost moving on the 7th-round draft pick. Doesn't matter how well he plays, doesn't matter how good he plays. He'll never look like Lamar Jackson. He'll never look like Patrick Mahomes, and that's why people will always discredit him. And I've talked about this theory for years, like dating back to when he was playing well as a rookie, and people were still finding ways to discredit his game when he was playing at an extremely high level. And it just comes down to this notion is that people's eyes, they're so conditioned to believe that you have to be the biggest, fastest, strongest, and they don't recognize the skill that comes along with not being the biggest, fastest, and strongest. When you look at quarterbacks like Brock Purdy, he's had to overcome those limitations by becoming a more skilled quarterback. And he doesn't have the ability to see it at the last second, make some crazy 50-yard throw down. It's just not his game. And I know a lot of people want to see that, and they see other quarterbacks do it, and they're like, wow. And they do. They make some really wild plays. But being a really good quarterback isn't just making plays outside of structure. It's playing within structure. It's playing within the scheme of the offense and elevating the offense. And that's what Brock Purdy has done. It is what he's done ever since he's came into the league. And yes, this year was a down year. It was a down year for the whole offense. I'm tired of hearing everything just boiled down to being on Brock's struggles this year. The offensive line protection schemes were absolutely atrocious. It's one of the worst things I've ever seen watching film on the San Francisco 49ers. And the 49ers weren't generating separation. And you were down. There's a lot of excuses to go down the list, but I don't know how you can call it an excuse when you're missing some of the best players on your team responsible for having the ball in their hands. And you can also say in the same breath, well, the best ability is availability. Well, yeah, of course it is, because you need your best players available on the field to be able to produce your best output. And even in those circumstances, Brock had played well. And yes, Brock hasn't played well this year because I believe the young man is pressing. I believe he put it all on his shoulders, and he went out here trying to do whatever he can to will his team to win. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. And for a 24-year-old who turned 25 at the end of the season, it is going to give him a lot of opportunity for growth and to get better. And that's the other thing that I don't like about this conversation with Brock is no one ever talks about, he's going to get better, right? He's going to improve. He's already shown that in his short career that he can improve and can get better. Even this year, he got better and he improved by using his legs more often and being able to get out of the pocket and make plays. So he's already and he's continued to show that he is willing to evolve his game. And so when you think about it, dude's 25, just turned 25, the weight of the world on his shoulders, most overly scrutinized quarterback in the league right now. The only starting quarterback that was drafted in the seventh round. I think the next highest quarterback drafted was like in the fourth round, and that might have been Dak Prescott. Everyone else is either a first or second round draft pick. And it doesn't make sense to me that the seventh round pick is the most overly scrutinized because, and the reason that is because people assume he was a seventh round draft pick, and so eventually he will play like a seventh round draft pick. But at the end of the day, it was all about physical tools and limitations. And Brock Purdy did have even he had admitted himself had a weaker arm heading in college and heading into the draft process. By retooling his mechanics, he was able to add some zip to his throws. He was able to push the ball further. And I really do believe that with a full off season that he can continue to work at his craft and he's going to continue to get better. And all these reps and all this adversity will only make him stronger and will only build him into a better quarterback. So that's how he's a winner, man. Like you look at this wild card round and you just look at the quarterback play across the league from some of the most physically gifted quarterbacks. Even CJ Stroud, you can throw him into the mix. He did win a game though, but he just looks shaky. And there have been plenty of opportunities where we've seen Brock Purdy put the team on his back against the Green Bay Packers when they were down and he had to get them drive down the field and make plays and get them into scoring position so that they could be in position to win the game. Who was the quarterback who threw the game-sealing interception? Oh, that was Jordan Love in that particular game. And then, being down 24-7 at halftime, and Brock Purdy had to be as close to perfect as possible in order for the San Francisco 49ers to be able to win that game and to be able to come back and to be able to get into the Super Bowl. And let's not forget, Brock did what he needed to do to be able to put the 49ers in position to win that Super Bowl. There's a lot of other things that went down that were out of his control. And that's just the objective fact. And you can talk till you're blue in the face about what you think is real and what is not. But at the end of the day, that's why this conversation about Brock is so ridiculous, is because people just want to feel like they're right. And so they will say and use whatever's at their disposal to spin it to make it sound like they're right. And I'm less concerned about being right. I'm more concerned about getting it right. And if that means taking in more information, taking in more data, taking in more film to be able to be like, all right, I can see some things here or there that need to be worked on and adjusted, I will absolutely do that. I'm not rigid in my beliefs. It's just not how I operate. So if new information is presented to me and things evolve, you're either getting better or you're getting worse. And so you have to be able to evaluate within that adversity, evaluate through these situations and different circumstances to be able to try to be as accurate as possible. That's all I try to do. And I think it's pretty crystal clear for a lot of 49er fans who watch the playoffs this weekend and see that, like, yeah, it would be fantastic to have the next coming of Patrick Mahomes. But Patrick Mahomes is a unicorn. Josh Allen is a unicorn. Lamar Jackson is a unicorn. These guys they're just not walking around. And I'm tired of this tired comparison, trying to constantly compare Brock to these other quarterbacks when I get it. He's not those guys, but that doesn't mean he can't be successful and win his way. And that's what football is all about, winning your way. And Brock has done a really good job of that so far, and I think he'll only get better. So I think Brock was a big winner this week, just based on all the other quarterback play. And just you really get a sense of being a 49er fan who, has only seen Brock Purdy in the playoffs and now not seeing him. You're like, oh, the quarterback play looks significantly worse. So good job, Brock. You earned some money chilling. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.